In this video on Ebony the King's Return, we're going to be going through some of the best generals available in the game, starting here with the Europe tab under Portraits in the Tavern. So, Gold Historics here first. Nero is going to be good for sub-cities. Gustavus is going to be good for defending and attacking. I primarily see him used on defense. Edward the Black Prince is not the best, but he can be used for attack with ranged troops. Barbarossa is not available in the tavern, but can be gotten via spending methods. He's not the best, but he can be used for boss battles. Flavus here can be used for sub-cities also, but not available in the tavern. Queen Boudica isn't the best choice for defending your city, but she is a choice if you have her. Arminius and Canuck the Great, both sub-generals also, but not available in the tavern. Jadwiga, you can use her on defense, but probably shy away from her. Alfred the Great can be used on attack. Napoleon can be used later down the line for siege attacks, but I wouldn't worry about getting him too soon. Skanderbeg can be used as a, let me check here, hospital duty officer, so you could get him, but again, not in the tavern. Roland, not in the tavern, but is another great mounted general for bosses. Margaret and Constantine down here are good for subs also, not available in the tavern. Africanus is the best ground general for attack, especially in the game, not available in the tavern. And unfortunately Robert's the same, he's for ranged attack, but he's not available in the tavern. Going through America, not available in the tavern again, unfortunately, is Joseph East Johnson for defense. Ulysses for boss monsters, not in the tavern. One that is very good that's in the tavern also is Andrew Jackson for subs, although Nero, and another one I'm going to go through in a minute, is better. Washington, if you have to use him, he is available in the tavern for boss monsters, but there are better available. Minamoto is not available in the tavern, but is a great attack general. Decatur can be used if you really have to, for both bosses and even perhaps attacking or defending. Again, if you really have to. He's a good secondary, like a backup general. Himoko can be pretty good as well. Yisan Sin can be used on defense. Queen Jindiok is going to be the best for gathering resources. Jumong is probably not recommended, but he can get the job done when attacking other players, primarily. Guangato can be used in attack also. Going through China here, you got Li Shimin is a fantastic attack general. Li Jing can be used, he's not available in the tavern for boss monsters if you really have to. Ban Chao is going to be good for Archer Tower officer. Under Russia you can use Vladimir if you really have to, but it's preferable to use others. Alexander Nevsky is a fairly bottom tier sub general, but he is better than the ones that offer gold production because you do not want that. Baibar is an excellent general to have multiple of, as is Queen Jindiok, as he can be used to join multiple boss rallies and get an increased drop rate. Khalid is probably going to be the best available in the tavern for bosses for the most part. And this one here is going to be good for being on the wall when you are bubbled for extra resources. Amir is going to be good for stealing resources from other players, if that's what you're trying to do. Prince Rhaegar is okay, but he's not available in the tavern anyway, so it's not like you really need to go for him. These two are very good here, right here. The Trajan is very good for defending if you really have to, but mostly attacking with ground. Empress here is the best, pretty much, general for sub-cities. Getting into more defense generals, you have these two here that are going to be fantastic as well. One's more geared towards siege, the other one's geared more towards ranged. But they both do a pretty good job, but you mostly see people using the one on the right here instead of the other one where possible. Martinus is going to be another boss general. Same with Hannibal and Electra for attack. Out of the purple ones, you can go for Cleopatra. Attila is going to be your second best option for stealing resources from other players. Cleopatra is like a budget Baibar. Spartacus is probably not too good. Princess Lucy's okay. Most purples are not worth going after, so I'm just going to leave those out for now. And we're just going to go back through most of the ones I've already talked about and to talk about why I have selected each of these, and most people do. Reducing enemy troops' HP adds up to 60% debuff to the enemy team, and these work best when they are sub-generals. I have a sub video, I also have another general recruitment video and so on, so you can go through those to learn a little bit more about why that is the case, but it is best to get ones that say reduces on them instead of ones that say increases when appointing sub-mayors. That's why I have one Nero, I have two Empresses, I have many Andrew Jacksons and Nevskys for the time being, although I will be upgrading those to Neros and Sixties as soon as possible. Gustavus can be used on defense because he gets your range and siege up, which can be pretty good on defense, and it reduces the enemies at the same time, so it's like a double effect. And he has a few siege specialties as well with a fairly high attack, so people tend to use them on defense, but you can use them absolutely on both. So Edward the Black Prince, he's not the best option, but he does increase your ranged troops by a fair bit and reduces enemy mounted, but that doesn't tend to matter because they die quite easily in PvP anyway. This one again is going to be another reduce, so that's just why he's good. You can ignore the other things because he would be a sub-general. Queen Boudica is more so related to mounted, and people don't like to use mounted on defense too much in comparison to ground and ranged, maybe even siege, so her stats aren't as useful. Again, these two are sub-generals, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Alfred the Great is another ranged troop one, and even siege, so he's pretty good at attack with pretty good base stats, so that's why we're going with him. This one here, he's a hospital officer, so, you know, he is what he is. Roland, again, got troop attack for mounted, which mounted are used on bosses and regular monsters. Margaret, Constantine, more sub-generals with reduced stats. Ground stats for Scipio, or however you say his name. And this one is another ranged one. You're going to see a lot of ranged generals that are going to be recommended to use on attack, and some ground-based ones. You're going to see a lot of ranged, ground, siege on defense, more so, and then the mounted for bosses. So you got mounted here, some range stats, some siege stats, so that's why we got him for a defense general. Ulysses, another mounted one. It's going to get more when you bring the dragon with a very high attack stat. Andrew Jackson with more reduced stats for subs. Washington, mounted troop attack, so another boss one. Minamoto, more ranged here, fairly good base stats. I'm leaving out some specialties just out of the interest of time, but you can go through those. There are more reasons to picking these generals than just that, as well as when you look at a general that I've got, let's go to the Korea one here, ranged troop and siege machine attack. When a general has 2 or more stats like this, it means you can stack the book. So that means I can add an additional special skill to this general for ranged troop attack, even though he already has it here. So I can add it to him because he has 2 skills, doesn't matter what they are, but I can double up on it. But Jumong, that also has ranged troop attack, he only has the 1 skill, he doesn't have 2, it's just ranged troop attack only, and therefore I cannot add an additional skill book. This also goes into what generals are better than others, because people like to get as much attack stat out of their generals as possible, allowing you to kill enemies faster within each round of battle, which is just how the calculations are done, and that's just going to help you over getting that. So, you know, instead of 20% here, I get 45% attack, whereas with Jumong, you don't. So Queen Jundiok is going to be gathering. As you see here, this gets increased resources from gathering. So personally, I've got 3 of her right now, but really you want to get up to 6 where possible. Yi Sun Sin has fairly good base stats. Increases your in-sea troops, so all troops has worth 40%. Ground and mounted up, so it's not too bad. But he's not available in the tavern. Ban Chao, you know, as you see here, increases Archer Tower stats and stuff. Li Shimin is another ranged one with march size increase, which is always nice. His leadership and attack's not too bad. His defense is slightly low, but it's okay. bearing in mind it's quite hard to get these generals, the ones that aren't available in the tavern. We're just going to skip these ones for now. Go on to Arabia. So buy bars, increasing drop rate, so I've got only one of him right now, but you really want to again have 6 as soon as you can. It would take hundreds of millions of resources to get these kinds of generals, so bear that in mind. It's not going to be easy, so don't go after that straight away. Khalid, again, another mounted attack, although I've got a Washington right now, as you may have seen. It said recruited before and I was on him. I am trying to get one of these because I can add an additional mounted troop attack, so rather than Washington's 35%, on this one I can get up to a 45% with a level 4 skill book, as well as his base stats are higher anyway. This one here, when it's main city defense general, so as long as you're bubbled, you probably don't want to be using this one to actually defend your city. It will increase your production and how much upkeep is protected. Quickly running through these, Tamir is going to increase troop load, so it'll make it easier to steal resources from other players. More ground troop attack and stuff for Trajan. Reduces, again, for Sixi, that's why she's so good. Increases triggering rate of traps, range troop attack up, and even defense as well. Quite solid. This one is getting ground up, which is excellent. Siege is excellent, and he has mostly siege-based specialties. Martinez is another one that's going to be great with mounted. Tons of stats there. You can double up on the attack. Electra, similar thing there. Similar thing with Hannibal. If there's any questions about any of these generals, I don't want to make the video too long, and that's why I've really quickly rushed through them, because I know people don't like the longer videos. Do comment down below with any questions, and with that I think I'll end the video. Thank you for watching, and do be looking out for my website that will be released soon. If it is released, it will be in the description of all my videos, so do check that out. Again, thanks for watching.